Hi, I'm Neil from Board Game Happy, and thank you very much for joining me today for a review of Foodie Forest from Yellow Games. Couple of things to know about me. Number one, my favourite hobby is playing board games. My second favourite hobby is browsing for new board games. And whilst browsing for new board games, I almost fell off my chair because there was a brand new Reiner Knizia trick-taking game. Okay, one of my favourite designers, one of my favourite genres, smish them together. This turns out to be a remake of a game I'd never played from 2001 called Too Many Cooks. So I've managed to play it quite a lot of times. I'll take it down to the table, show you how it plays, give you a good idea of the game, and then bring you back up, give you my final thoughts. Okay, cheers! Okay, so Foodie Forest is a re-implementation of Too Many Cooks, which was released in 2001. It has all the hallmarks of a Knizia game. It has a simple rule set, it's mathematically pleasing numbers-based game, and it takes an existing genre of games, this time trick-taking, and slightly twists the formula to make for something new and exciting. 2 to 5 chefs are trying to make their perfect recipe in the same pot. Each round, players will place cards into the pot until the pot is full, at which point the player who placed the last ingredient card takes all of the cards and adds them to the score pile. Seems simple enough. Let me show you a bit more detail. There are 3 tasty soups in Foodie Forest. We have the vegetables, we have the fruit, and we have the bugs. There is one rubbish suit, the trash suit. There are also 5 recipe cards and a load of scoring points. The 3 delicious suits have an equal spread of numbers, ranging from 0 to 5 with 1 10 thrown in and a special. There's a 0 which will reset the pot, which I will explain in a minute. But basically, each of the 3 suits have the same numbers. The trash suit just has 1 through to 5. Okay, so the main deck is shuffled, which is made up of all of the ingredient cards. Each player is given 5 recipe cards. I will explain very briefly what they do. I'll talk about this one a little bit later, but basically, this ingredient card here, you're going to score 1 point for each blue, you're going to lose 1 point for each trash. 1 red, -1 for trash. 1 green, -1 for trash. 1 point per trash, -1 point per special. This one gives you 5 points straight up, but you lose 1 point for each card that you have in your scoring pile. At the beginning of the game, each player is also given 5 points. Players can never go below 0 points, but you will be scoring negative points some rounds. 13 cards are dealt to each player. The remainder of the deck is put to one side. They won't be needed for the time being. If you're playing a 5-player game, only 10 cards are dealt to each player. Players will then look at their cards, and then from that, they will make a decision in secret about which one of these ingredients cards they think they're going to score the most of. This player's feeling pretty confident about reds, so what they will do is they'll find their red recipe card, which is here, and then put that down in front of them in secret. All other players do that. They put them down in secret, and then they are revealed at the same time. As you can see, both these 2 players are going to be going for red. This player is going for green. So the first player will then put a colour into the pot. They place a blue. It is 1. You call out the value of the pot as it increases. So all other players, this is a must follow. All other players must now play a blue card to this pot. If you cannot play a blue because you don't have one, you can play anything else you like. As soon as you play a trash, the colour rule no longer applies and anyone can play any colour. To win a pot, you must be the player who placed the last card, which makes the value of the pot go over 10. So if the second player just played that straight away, that becomes 11. They would win that pot and it gets moved into their scoring pile. This player then becomes the player that starts the pot. This way you can win cards that aren't going to necessarily score you, or maybe you're going to take points away from somebody else. But what it means is you then get to go first, which is very, very important in this game. If you play a 10, sorry, let me go take that back. If you start the pot with a 10, you don't just win it, that becomes a 0. So let me show you very briefly a quick few goes as if we were playing normally. So this player plays a 3 green and they shout out 3. This player looks at their hand. Have they got any greens? They certainly do. If they play that one, which they're going to, it still remains at 3. So that stays at 3. This player then plays this one. So we're now up to 6. Okay, so this player has got to play a green. They're going to win it regardless. So they play the 5 to get rid of it for now, and they get this whole pot. This player has just won 4 points for themselves, so that's amazing. So you're going to keep on playing like this, playing cards. People have to follow. Like I said, if someone plays a trash, then you can play anything you like after that. And then as soon as one player cannot play a card because they have none left in their hand, the round immediately stops. The pot is thrown away. That's worthless because it hasn't reached 10. And then we'll go to final scoring, or scoring of the round. Each player will look at their scoring pile and add up. For example, this player would get 1 point for each red card and lose 1 point for each boot. So this brings me on very quickly to this card, which gives you 5 points, but you lose 1 point per card. This card is broken. The rule book should have an amendment, because every experienced player will try and get this card out of the way in the first round, because the rules state you can never go below 0. So therefore, the penalty for collecting 10 cards because everyone's ganged up on you is only going to be the 5 points you have at the beginning plus this one. So it's not the biggest penalty you would imagine. Now, if you play this in the last round and people just dump loads and loads of cards on you, you could be losing 15 points or more. But as it stands, I have house ruled this, which I do not like to do. I've house ruled this, that you can't play this card in the first round. It's not an elegant solution. The only other thing is to say, yes, you can go into negative points, which does certainly make for a more stressful game. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because it is a bit of a frustration that has managed to sneak its way through playtesting. Once the rounds come to an end, everyone's scoring condition card gets thrown away. So these are all thrown away. And now in the next round, we shuffle up all the ingredients again. And the next round, we have less choices to choose from. So you can start to deduce who has what left in their scoring pile and how the game will play out. But of course, keep in mind the luck factor comes in by the fact that you're going to be shuffled up and the cards are going to be dealt out to you. So the game comes with 2 handy little variants on the back of the instructions, which I really like both of them. One a lot more than the other though. So the first one, as you can see here, you're basically doing like a kind of drafting mechanism where you can't choose the same recipe as the player before you. But the one that I really like is you don't reveal your recipe cards during the recipe section of the game. Instead, you only reveal them at the point scoring stage. Now, this turns the game into a deduction game because you're trying to work out, well, why are they playing that 4 blue? Do they really, really want blues, or are they trying to throw me off the scent? And I really, really like that. So anyway, that's my how to play of Foodie Forest. Let me take you back up to the top and give you my final thoughts. Okay, I hope that playthrough gave you a really good idea as to how Foodie Forest plays. So let me give you some of my final thoughts. It's a fun little trick-taking game. It has a unique mechanism which keeps on bringing me back for more. I actually really like the pot mechanism. The rulebook is clear, easy to follow. The artwork is cute. Might be too cute for some, but I like it. Tension really ramps up as the game goes on because the scoring is so tight. So that's a real positive for the game. Card quality is really good, numerous shuffles, and it's not showing any signs of wear or tear so far, so that's great. The enjoyment of this game does come from the pot manipulation. When do I play the big cards? When do I hold back? When do I reset? When do I make sure my opponent's going to get some of this trash that I'm throwing in there? It's really, really fun. And when you add to that the variant for the secret recipe, which means that you only reveal your recipe card at the end, you somehow got a deduction game thrown in with a trick taker, which is just fantastic. And I would recommend that once you're used to the game, I would always play with that variant, definitely. I found the game more enjoyable with fewer players. So 2 or 3 was probably my preferred way of playing. At 4 or 5, it can feel very chaotic and out of your control. You can start off by playing a 1 blue and it could come all the way around to you, almost finished, and it could just be all trash, or it could have already been finished way before it comes back to you. So that's why I prefer it at 2 or 3, probably actually 2. So that's really great for a trick taker, which is advertised as 2 to 5. But at 2, it feels like a really great head-to-head, which is a real neat trick to pull off. So yeah, big plus for that. Not so great, I've mentioned it already, the recipe card that gives you 5 points, but then you lose 1 point per card you gain, is broken as described. It's a real shame. It should have been play tested more, should have been picked up, but the 2 extra variants somewhat make up for the mistake, but not completely. Foodie Forest is now going to sit alongside my other favourite trick takers, actually, even though I've only just got it and played it. But playing it so much within such a short period of time tells me that I know this is a game for me. I can't wait to teach it to more people. I absolutely love it. So yeah, Foodie Forest, big thumbs up, super affordable price, great production from Yellow, Reiner Knizia. I mean, what's not to like? So anyway, that was my really quick review, hopefully, of Foodie Forest. I hope it helped you decide whether or not it's a game for you. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. Any comments, chuck them below. I always come back to people. But anyway, I've been Neil from Board Game Happy. Thank you very much for watching my review. Scores, etc. will follow just in a second, just to give you a rundown of everything that I've said. But once again, thanks for watching. Okay, cheers.